gentlemen, welcome into another edition of High School Football on Next Level Broadcasting. Charles Trail here with Todd Erickson as we're getting ready to kick it off between the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and the Charlevoix Rayders. You're looking live over the confines of Thurlby Field here as we get ready for these two Division VII opponents to kick it off on a Friday night here, August 30th. Todd, we were here last night, but tonight is about these two teams, the Charlevoix Rayders and the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators. I know that talking to you earlier, we were really pumped up for this game, and, well, we should be in for a treat.
Yeah, even the energy tonight, you can see great night for football. It's Friday night. Of course, most people probably more available, but just a lot of energy from both crowds.
Oh, I mean, you just gotta love the way that these two teams are getting ready for this game to, well, I mean, last year these two teams locked horns twice, and for each of those two teams, they each won one game apiece. The first game was won by the Gladiators, and the Rayders kind of came back to put the final touches on it when they won in the playoffs. So each team split, and they both kind of have a chip on their shoulder coming into this game because one won, one lost. So got to like the way that these teams are getting ready for this one to go down here.
And I know, Charles, you being from that other area, you'll know the Charlevoix team better than I, and talking to some people locally here. They got a good high expectation for these St. Francis Gladiators. They feel they're going to be a little stronger this year, and I think we'll have one heck of a good ball game.
All right, so getting ready here. It'll be the Gladiators back deep to receive the opening kickoff.
And Charles, tonight's referee crew, all of the UP, referee Don Gustafson, umpire Bob Lee, linesman Gary McDonald, line judge Eric Danielson, and the back judge Mark Giannunzio. So no favoritism. I couldn't be called on anything here. Those guys came down, do a game, and that's terrific.
Back deep for the Gladiators is Cam Sellers, and we are underway from Thurlby Field. It's going to drop at the 18-yard line, picked up there on the hop, running up the field with it, taking it all the way out to the Gladiator 42-yard line is Gabe Fifarik, and that's where the Gladiators will set up shop here, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Brought down by Jack Terryberry for the Charlevoix Raider defense. All right, this will bring out Endress under center. 3-man backfield for the Gladiators. They're going to turn, hand off to Harrison Shepard. Shepard makes his way for a 3-yard gain on 1st down and 10. Eventually brought down by Brady Warshaw for the Raiders.
It's a nice assist by number 60 also, David Gray. Only a gain of 3, so not a bad first start. I'm sure just like last night, jitters on both sides.
So this is the first quarter of play. If you're watching live, we're going to get our clock feature up and running here momentarily as Endress down under center once again. Going on the hard count, he's going to turn and hand off to Lisinski, and Lisinski is at midfield and about 1 yard shy of a Gladiator first down. Tackle made by Jack Van Gilder.
Nice 6-yard gain. 3rd and 1. Again, another perfect night for football weather.
Oh, obviously. I mean, about 73 degrees at time of kickoff tonight. A little more wind in the forecast tonight, but these teams will appreciate that. This time, the Gladiators come out with Lisinski flanked to his left by 2 running backs and a gun 2-back set, and they're going to take a timeout and talk things over. And as they take a timeout, we're going to take a timeout as well and hear from our friends at Pop Excavating, our first quarter sponsor of tonight's game. Okay, here we are. Welcome back in. 3rd and 1 on the opening possession of the game for the St. Francis Gladiators. They came out in a different formation there, Todd, than we're used to seeing. Mixed it up a little bit with Lisinski in the shotgun.
Yeah, it must be something they didn't like or they wanted to change to call that timeout, but it's a big play. Right at mid-stripe.
They stay in the same formation, 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Raiders with 4 down linemen. Harrison Shepard in jet motion. Lisinski is going to keep it, and Lisinski is going to have a very, very close spot coming up after that tackle was made by Brady Jess for the Charlevoix Raiders. Nice play by Jess there, Todd.
It was. I mean, he sealed it. I thought there was some daylight there for a minute, especially when the running job by Lisinski's been the short time we've been here, but he filled the gap quite well in that tackle.
So got to like the way that the defense has been playing here for Charlevoix, but the Gladiators still pick up the first down and have enough on that Lisinski keeper. As the Glads break the huddle just into Raider territory here. 10 minutes remaining in the opening quarter between these two teams. Endress under center. He's going to hand to Lisinski. Lisinski breaks through a tackle, high steps into the just past the 30-yard line. Now there is a flag down, and it looks like this one will be coming back, as it could have been a hold or a block in the back that sprung Lisinski down the sideline.
Logan Watkins at the end of that did get him pushed out of bounds, but I think that's, you've seen that flag coming up in the air first. And what a big opportunity.
And they're talking to the Raider defense, asking them what they would like to do here. The end of the run was at the 28-yard line. And indeed, they will be bringing this one back, courtesy of a block in the back. It'll be second down and short. It's a penalty enacted from the spot of the foul. So the Gladiators will have it at the Raider 39-yard line. As they break the huddle, Endress under center once again. 7 down linemen for the Gladiators. And we got a flag on the play here. This one's more than likely a false start.
Yeah, Charlevoix seems to be happy with that by their body motions.
So that'll back the Gladiators up about 5 yards and make it a second and long 5. All right, here the Gladiators come back out. Second and 5. Endress turns and hands off to Harrison Shepard. Shepard gets that penalty yardage back on the carry. He's eventually brought down first by Sawyer Blazik for the Raiders, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
And they're in a hurry up right now. They're getting right to it. No huddle formation.
And Endress dropping back to pass on the boots. Got a man in the flats. A completion. Lisinski is running down the sideline. Lisinski makes a man miss. Lisinski inside the 10, eventually brought down by Jackson Krause. A big-time pitch and catch from Tyler Endress to Lisinski goes for 38 yards down the sideline on 3rd and 1. And it looks like we've got
timeout Charlevoix. That was a big reception, Charles. 32 yards, I understand, on that play itself. 32-yard gang, that was big.
Was it? So it went down officially as a 32-yard gain. I had it unofficially as a 38-yarder, but we'll go with 32. From the ball was on the Raider 39, and now it rests at the 9-yard line. So 32-yard gain. And, well, we're going to get that. We told everybody at home we were going to get that clock up and running, and now we do indeed have it up and running. There are 9 minutes, 6 seconds left to play in the opening quarter here. Tyler Endress and the rest of the Gladiator offensive unit coming back out onto the field. It'll be 1st and goal from the Raider 9-yard line on the Gladiator opening possession of the game. Endress going to turn and hand up the middle to Harrison Shepard on the straight handoff, and Shepard is into the end zone for 6. And the Gladiators strike first on the touchdown run by Harrison Shepard. Todd, that one was easy. Shepard was totally untouched.
Just like a short delay on his part, and then he bursted through that right side of that line. And I mean, I don't think he was touched at all, like you said. It was just a great opening. They really did a good job blocking up front for him.
They certainly did do a good job of springing him through the hole there. And, well, you got to give them credit where credit is due, as they say, because the Gladiators took that opening possession right down the field and punched it in.
2-point conversion coming up, so I'm guessing they feel strongly about it.
Endress under center once again, 7 down lineman for the Gladiators. He's going to turn hand to Lisinski. Lisinski is met by Brady Jess, but Lisinski is in for the point or 2-point after. So the Gladiators take their opening possession all the way down for 8 points and put points on the board here on their first possession of the 2024 season. And with that, we're going to go ahead and step aside and be back in 30 seconds after a word from our sponsors.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Okay, here we are. Welcome back in here. High school football on Next Level Broadcasting. Want to give a shout out to our first half sponsors, Pop Excavating and the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, allowing this game to be watched by our viewers everywhere live across the country. And we appreciate you being patient. We had a little bit of technical issues early, but we are up and running here and at full capacity as the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators took their opening possession. 2 minutes and 57 seconds all the way for a house call.
Looks like Logan Watkins, the deep back, to receive. Jack Terraberry, also Jack Van Gilder, the back three, waiting for this kick.
Back deep will be Logan Watkins for the Raiders. Waiting on this one from
Sam Wilfong.
Yeah, Wilfong's going to boot it deep, fielded at the 7-yard line by Watkins. Watkins with some speed runs into a Gladiator tackler right down there, and making the stop for the Glads is Alex Jetter, and the Raiders will set up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
You know, I was really watching one that the kickoff team was going down to make that coverage, how a lot of those guys, Alex included, stayed right in the lane they should be in, and he basically came to them. It was nice to watch. Now we'll see what the Raiders can do.
Well, this will be our first opportunity to see this Raider offense here in 2024, led by 3-year varsity starter at quarterback Brady Jess. Raiders with one man in motion. Jess is going to keep this one. He's got some blocking out on the perimeter, and Jess is dragged down at the 27-yard line after a pickup of 8 yards on 1st and 10. That's a good way to get the drive started if you're Charlevoix here, Todd.
Oh, it was an excellent call right off the get-go. Cam Sellers, he had to sprint out to get him, but it had a great look on it. We're looking at 2nd and 4 off the first go. Great job.
Jess is going to hand off to Brady Warshaw, and Warshaw's brought down after a quick half-yard gain tackled by Warren Asher, the Gladiators' first man in there to stop Warshaw.
Looks like it'll be same again, 3rd and 4.
It'll be 3rd and 3 now as the Raiders break the huddle. Gladiators up 6-0. Under 7 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. It's 3rd and 3. Jess in the pistol. He's going to turn and hand, and the ball is on the ground, a fumble, and Jess gets back on top of it, but it was Sam Wildfong who was down there to make the tackle for loss, and that will most likely bring out the punt unit for the Raiders. So a good first down play results in a thwarted drive, and the Gladiators are going to force a punt on the Raider opening possession.
They're quickly getting after this punt. Back for the Glads. Harrison Shepard along with Cam Sellers.
And it's a boot away. Ryan Pearl sends it deep. Sellers can't catch it cleanly, and he is going to have to fall on that one for no return on the punt. Gladiators will have it at their own 45 after that, and that one could have been a drastic turnover if Sellers isn't able to get back onto that muffed punt.
Just 2 mishaps in a row, and luckily both teams recovered. Now we'll start again now, like you said, from the 45 and see what St. Francis brings.
St. Francis will come out in a trip set to the bottom of the screen. Endress in the shotgun, flanked by Wildfong. They're going to hand to Cam Sellers on the jet motion. The Raiders had the edge set, but Cam Sellers is sprinting down the sideline. Sellers with some speed all the way for a 55-yard touchdown. Cam Sellers takes it the distance from 55 yards out after getting the edge on the jet sweep and takes it to the crib.
His speed when he turned that corner, it looked like he hit a lower gear, and he was just flying.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, his gearing ratio, if you're a car guy out there, is pretty high gear. When he hits it, he's gone. And the Gladiators look like they're going to be lining up, going for 2 here.
Very successful the last time. I think it was Lazinski that took it across on the left side on a previous score.
$55-yard touchdown run as Lazinski's going to take the design quarterback keeper, and he's got it.
Got it again.
So the Gladiators go up 16-0 after a 55-yard touchdown run by Cam Sellers, capped off by a Lazinski 2-point after. And they're up quickly 16-0 over the Charlevoix Raiders here. So the Raiders are going to have to figure something out here quickly to be able to counteract this offensive onslaught by the Gladiators here in the first half, or first quarter, I should say.
And the big thing, I think, Charles, is, don't get excited because they got 2 scores. Get back in, get your rhythm, stay calm, execute like your coaches need you to do. There's no reason to have any panic or anything like that on the floor. Just execute. That last play was a big opener, but get back to business, get your team rolling.
It'll be Wild Fong to kick it deep for the Gladiators.
Again, Logan Watkins back, along with Jack Terraberry and Jack Van Gilder.
.6:45 remaining here in the first quarter. Traverse City St. Francis up 16-0. Watkins taking it from his deep territory, and he's out to the 25-yard line, which is where the Raiders will set up shop here on their second possession of the first quarter.
Matthew Rylson for St. Francis tripping him up, and again, not bad field possession. We're starting right to 25.
So the Raider offense had a 3-and-out on that first possession, Todd, and it started off with a nice little keeper by Brady Jess. Unfortunately, after that, it really stalled out. As Jess is in the pistol back formation, Warshaw behind him. Jess is going to throw it out into the flat and incomplete. Intended target was Logan Watkins there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Raiders.
Looked like he didn't quite have his feet left when he was rolling to his left. Southpaw quarterback, he just kind of pushed it out there a little quick, I thought. It wasn't in full stride when he let it go.
So 2nd and 10 now coming up for the Raiders here, deep in their own territory on their second possession of the game, ball on the 25-yard line. Let's see what they've got in store for us. This offense is capable of putting up lots of points and scoring in bunches, but they find themselves in an early 16-point deficit, courtesy of this St. Francis offense being primed and ready to go here for the season opener. Jess is going to roll out once again, and this one was intended for Ryan Pearl, and pass goes incomplete, so it'll be a 3rd and 10. Raider offense trying to get this passing game going, Todd, but the Gladiators applying a lot of pressure in the backfield.
Yeah, it's the first time I got to watch him quarterback, and on both passes it seemed like he's rolling and passing and didn't plant that back foot a little bit, to get the momentum, get the strength out there. But, I mean, he put a lot on both balls over the top of him, But it just didn't look like he's running and throwing at the same time without planting that foot. But maybe he's that kind of a quarterback. I mean, there's guys that can do it.
That's usually how Brady likes to throw on the move. This time the Raiders send 2 to the top of the screen. Gladiators bring 4. Jess is going to roll out, and Jess is going to be brought down for a 2-yard gain, dragged down by Michael Frederick. Actually, that's Jack Gruber who made the tackle there. We're going to make the adjustment there. It was either Michael Frederick or Jack Gruber on the tackle of Brady Jess after that 2-yard scamper. So the Raiders will have to send a punt back out there. Ryan Pearl, the punt man, getting ready to send it away. Back deep for the Gladiators will be the pairing of Cam Sellers and Harrison Shepard.
And a quick penalty.
All right, Raiders with a second chance here. Deep within their own confines, Pearl takes it and punts it away from his own 14. It's a spiraling kick received by Harrison Shepard, handed off to Cam Sellers. Cam Sellers gets it. Cam Sellers is going to turn and burn down the sideline. Sellers is taking it for 6 once again. The special teams play of the Gladiators here, putting 6 more on the board. against the Raiders here. Cam Sellers doing it all here, Todd.
Well, he can run that left side, and to me, unofficially, I think he caught it around roughly the 45-yard line. I think is where the reception was made. And what a nice little reverse. And again, when he kicks it in, that second gear really pops. And he had some great blocking. They were all patient. They all knew what their job was on that side.
You know, last year the Gladiators went 4-5, including their loss in the playoffs to Charlevoix. That was one of the first St. Francis teams with a losing record in the last 20 years, Todd.
And I'm sure that's stuck in their mind all summer, all winter. And their work ethic probably strengthened up quite a bit.
Well, what they've done here in the first quarter shows what they came out here with a mentality to do, as this will be an illegal procedure formation against the Gladiators, and they'll be moving them back 5 yards. They'll probably be teeing this one up to kick a point after now, with it being on the 7.
Well, I'm not sure who the kicker is, but the quarterback's definitely coming back out.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 7 as they attempt once again the 2-point attempt.
Little trips left and tight end to the right.
And looks like we got a timeout taken here by the Gladiator offense, wanting to talk this one over here. They wanted to see what that formation the Raiders came out in. And, you know, I think that's the first timeout or second timeout taken by the Gladiators so far in the first quarter. Well, while we have an opportunity to do so, we want to thank another one of our sponsors. That's Grand Traverse Hauling, and they're your go-to source for any large-scale cleaning needs in the northwest corner of northern Michigan, from junk removal, foreclosures, remodels, and everything in between. So if you got a housing remodel and you need to get rid of that old kitchen, Todd, you can check out our friends at Grand Traverse Hauling. So when the wife is putting you to work on that cabin down there, you know what to do to get rid of your excess clutter.
I had a neighbor moving out down by me, and he's from Grand Rapids. He ran a countertop company with Corian, quartz, and everything else, and I told him he wasn't allowed in the house.
Yeah.
Because she'll have too many good ideas.
Well, that's our friends at Grand Traverse Hauling, here to help and serve you. Check them out online at grandtraversehauling.com. Endress in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. They're going to flood it right, rolling on the pass intended for Matthew Kane. And it falls incomplete. So the Gladiators add 6 on the 52-yard punt return touchdown by Cam Sellers, but the Raiders stopped him on the 2-point attempt after. So after just under 6 minutes of action here from Thurlby Field, the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators up 22-0 over the Charlevoix Raiders. Todd, it's almost like the Raiders don't know what hit them.
Yes, I agree with what you said. And again, like after the first 2 scores, you still got to come out with composure, do what you're doing, do what you worked on all the time, but it just looks like they're a little rattled. And they don't need to be. You know, 2 scores wasn't bad. Even 3, you got so much time left. And the game can swing like last night. We seen a first half full of things that, okay, they'll get it fixed, and the second half cleaned right up. They got to be patient. And at this point, right now, St. Francis looks very much in tune.
First quarter here still, 22-0 is the score.
I believe that's Will Fong again doing the kicking duties to Watkins. Jack Van Gilder, Jack Terryberry.
Wild Fong ready to kick it away. And this is a beautiful kick. It lands about 2 yards into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Raiders will set up shop here at their own 20 as they get the ball here for a 3rd time. And Todd, we talked about it earlier. Just like the Gladiators just came out swinging in this game.
And I was noticing, you know, when they set at the line in that first set, I mean, nobody flinched, nobody moved. And I'm surprised we've had a legal procedure, but they're very well in tune with each other on the defensive side and offensive side.
All right, this will bring out the third opportunity for the Raider offense led by Brady Jess. There's a low snap. Ball's on the ground. Jess, I think, is able to wrestle that one back, as Jess is a defending state champion wrestler at 190 pounds.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, he definitely got it quickly back, but just I think he was going before he had it type of thing, like when a receiver is turning before they caught it. And I think he was going to roll out this way and didn't quite secure it yet.
So that'll be another tackle for loss.
Yeah, 6-yard loss now. So we got 2nd and 16, and again, just chip away.
He'll take it, and there's the reverse handoff. Logan Watkins gets a block. Logan Watkins can fly. Logan Watkins is down the sideline, and he is in a foot race with Cam Sellers. Watkins and Sellers, can they catch him? They cannot. Oh. Watkins takes it the distance for a 86-yard touchdown for Logan Watkins. Man, he can scoot.
That was impressive. Sellers on the other side and Watkins on this side. That was impressive.
And Sellers came from across the field from his free safety position, and it was Watkins and Sellers in a foot race. Sellers dove, and Watkins high-stepped through the tackle. And that is the shot in the arm that the Raiders needed, Todd.
They definitely needed it. I think conversion here would be huge for them.
And it was that little counter play, the misdirection, that fooled the linebackers for the Gladiators. And once Logan Watkins got a block, he got a really nice block by Garrison Starrett out there, number 2 in red. And once he got that block, he was gone.
Not sure who jumped on this one, but flags were flying. Oh, delay of game.
So that's something that we saw last night a lot, was the amount of penalties in the first game of the year.
Yeah, trying to keep track tonight, but I know I missed a couple, like just right there. Trying to keep a better log for you tonight, Charles.
Appreciate that.
Well, like before, this is a long conversion.
Raiders going for 2 here after the 86-yard touchdown run. Jess is going to scramble. He's going to keep it. Can he get a block? Throwing across his body. Got a completion, and it's good to Doug Morgridge. And Jess completes it to Morgridge on the scramble for the Raider 2-point after. And the Raiders strike back at a very, very critical time on the 86-yard Watkins touchdown run.
Yes, that was a great counter to come back with. You know, we were talking, don't get excited, run what you run, and boy, they definitely did. There was a little delay, and he came across, and you know, second night, first night for these two schools, and see an 84-yard kick run, and then just before it, Sellers went 55 yards.
Yeah,
St. Francis.
So if you're just now joining us, the scoring here, the Gladiators got things going on with a 8-yard touchdown run by Harrison Shepard, and then it was Cam Sellers with a 55-yard touchdown run, and then it was Cam Sellers with a 52-yard punt return for a touchdown, and then it was Logan Watkins with an 86-yard touchdown run for the Raiders. And then the Gladiators converted 2 2-point attempts. The Raiders 1 for 1 on their lone 2-point attempt. So it looks like we've got a ball game here, folks. So if you're just now settling in, if you're just now maybe taking a seat on your sofa, there's 5 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That's right. You saw that correctly. It's 22-8 first quarter. If you took the over in this one, you're liking your chances. As Pearl puts down a squib kick, it's fielded at the 34-yard line by Wildfong. Wildfong makes a couple-man miss, and he's making a cut, eventually brought down by the Raiders, tackled by Jackson Krause. But into Raider territory, Wildfong with a 29-yard return on the kickoff, and that's going to set the Gladiators up with great field position here.
And that was impressive. I mean, because he was in the middle of the pack that received that ball, so you didn't have a whole lot of guys up front blocking, but he did a nice little sidestep 2 or 3 times, and he gained some great yardage for him.
Yeah, he took advantage of that over pursuit by the Raider kickoff coverage. And the Gladiators now with something cooking here on the Raider 41-yard line. This time it's a keeper up the middle. This is a different Gladiator running back, this time a little wrinkle. That's Ethan Daziak, who was on the carry, and he picks up enough to move the chains for another Gladiator first down, eventually run out of bounds at the Raider 26-yard line.
You know, I think he was quarterback in that time. 12 didn't come out. I think he took the snap.
That was a direct snap to Daziak.
You know, and nice for that young man on his first snap of the year to make something happen.
Well, that was just a little wrinkle that they put in there. Endress is back under center once again for the Gladiators. Raiders showing 4 down linemen once again. Endress under center. He's going to snap it, hand off. That's a carry by Bellinger, and Bo Bellinger is down at the Raider 10-yard line. He's got enough to move the chains once again. That's a gain of 15 yards. And the Gladiators are knocking on the Raider doorstep here with 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
It's like under a minute we moved that far back already.
I know.
Because it was 5:04, I think, when they scored. 5:04 I've got written in.
A little confusion in the backfield, and Endress just kind of has to eat it and get the most he can. He loses about 4 yards on the play, and that's going to push it back to the 10-yard line, which is where the ball will be spotted. Actually, he made the most of it. He gained about 1 yard on there. So the Gladiators can still get a first down as the ball was spotted at the 12-yard line, so they can get a first down just inside the 2.
That was Sawyer Blazic, that defensive lineman, that plugged that up and stopped the surge, hopefully, for them.
Endress under center, Raiders with 4 down defensive linemen. They're going to hand off to Lisinski. Lisinski is in for 6. I thought he was brought down just short of the goal line, but Lisinski scores and the Gladiators strike back. Punch, punch, counter punch, punch, punch. I mean, these two teams are laying and putting on the gloves right now, standing toe-to-toe in the ring, aren't they, Todd?
Oh, my. And from last night, we went 3 quarters, no score, and then the first quarter here, it's just back. Thinking that we got some good life, that the Raiders came back and scored on a good one, and then right away after that kickoff, with that, I think you said 29-yard return for Wolfong.
Yeah.
And it sets it up.
This time Lisinski in the shotgun. He's got 2 lead blockers, and he's in for the 2-point after. So the Gladiators come back and answer with their own 8 points after the Raiders counter-punched. We're going to go ahead and step aside here and take a minute to catch our breath. When we come back, the Gladiators will be kicking off to the Raiders here. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
All right, here we are. Welcome back in to the coverage of the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators versus the Charlevoix Raiders here on Next Level Broadcasting. Charles Strail along with Todd Erickson here. If you're just now joining us, yes, the score is correct. It is 30-8. The St. Francis Gladiators have come out here swinging. The Raiders counterpunched briefly, and then the Gladiators answered right back with a 41-yard touchdown drive of their own there, Todd, as Wildfong took it from his 30 on the kickoff return and brought it back out to the Raider 41. So Gladiators answering back after the Raiders had an 86-yard touchdown run. But, wow, what a game.
And, you know, like we were talking about, Sellers went back-to-back, 45 and 55-yard runs?
It was a 55 and a 52-yard touchdown and then punt return touchdown, as this one is fielded by Logan Watkins. He's going to eventually kick into high gear. Watkins got a burst. Watkins makes one man miss. Dead legs at the 40, the 50. Watkins is going the distance. Watkins will not be caught. Watkins is going to take this one back for a house call. Logan Watkins all the way punching back for the Charlevoix Raiders, taking it back. He fielded that ball at his 3-yard line, 97 yards. Logan Watkins, oh my goodness, have a day.
I believe he's going to start being looked at a lot harder when he's in the area of where that football's going to be, because that was just another quick. He delayed and then up that left side.
He had one man to beat, and that was Sam Wildfong, the punter, and Watkins knew he had the speed, and he just kind of toyed with him. What a player that the Raiders have uncorked here on special teams and on offense. Very similar to Cam Sellers. As the Raiders keeps it, Brady Jess is going to put his shoulder down and try to get in, and he's kept out of the end zone. So no good on the 2-point attempt. We barely had a chance to catch our breath. Now we do. We're going to go ahead, step aside, catch our breath. We're going to hear from our friends at Collar Clinic, and we'll be back for this Old West Fast and shootout from Thurlby Field after this.
Collar Clinic, providing peace of mind and local customer service with the latest GPS collars, bark collars, e-collars, beeper collars, accessories, and replacement parts, protecting your dog's safety and giving you the confidence that you'll be hunting with your dog, not for them. Collar Clinic, your e-collar specialist in Northern Michigan for over 35 years.
Outdoors? Do you like action, being part of a team, and big machines? At Team Elmer's, we're not just building roads and infrastructure, we're building dreams and communities. And as a 100% employee-owned company, we value every employee owner with a commitment to excellence and a culture where everything we do it with heart. Every day brings new opportunities for adventure. Apply now at teamelmers.com/careers and to be part of something extraordinary.
Okay, here we are. Welcome back in high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. If you're just now watching us, I need to update the score because Logan Watkins just took it 97 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff for the Charlevoix Raiders to answer back after the Gladiators put 8 points on the board. So it's 30-14, 3:24 left in the first quarter. Ryan Pearl's going to onside kick it. It's a big bounce, and it's fielded nicely. I believe it was the hands team member for the Gladiators, number 23, Jack Gruber, who got down there to field that one cleanly. And the Gladiators will be once again in decent starting field position here. That's been a theme so far pretty much all game long, Todd.
You know, I was talking about when there's two scampers by Sellers and then Watkins comes right back. I wonder if Sellers wouldn't have ran the two hard ones if he could have maybe caught him that time, but he had been running hard. But a good field position for him.
All right, so the Gladiators back out there. Endress under center. He's going to turn and hand off. That's a nice-looking run. Picking up 11 yards on the carry was Bo Bellinger. Actually, apologies. That was
Scout.
Evan Bellinger, number 30.
Yes.
And it's into Raider territory after the 11-yard run by Bellinger, and the Gladiators just keep chipping away. You know, the difference between these two teams so far, Todd, the Raiders have had big plays. The Gladiators have had moderate gains, and then, boom, they'd pop one.
And I think that was the first time Bellinger handled the ball tonight for him.
I believe, yeah, first or second carry so far for Bellinger, and they're mixing up carries for a lot of their different tailbacks. Endress sending Shepard, or excuse me, that's Sellers in motion. Sellers has got a convoy. Sellers is down the field. He's into the 22-yard line where he's brought down by Logan Watkins, but not after a nice pickup by Cam Sellers on that jet sweep. And it's jet sweep, but it's also kind of like student body right on that jet sweep, Todd.
Yeah, he didn't take off right away. He let the blockers get out front, and he was patient, and I think that was huge. And then they opened that little bit of a seam, and he does get there quick.
Yes, he does. 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining here And there's a handoff to Harrison Shepard, and he's stacked up nicely. First Raider in there on the play was Ryan Pearl. And Pearl got in there from his defensive end position and made a nice tackle on Harrison Shepard. Only a couple carries so far for Harrison Shepard. He does have a touchdown for the Gladiators in this game, but he's been relatively quiet so far offensively. Cam Sellers, Lisinski doing a lot of the work so far, but the Gladiators just have so many pieces in that backfield that can hurt you at any point in time. Endress is going to hand on the counter to Harrison Shepard. Another nice tackle made there by Hunter Lemoran, and that's the first time we've called Hunter Lemoran's, well, second time we've called his name.
And it's a good move. I mean, if you keep handing the ball off the same person like Sellers is getting it a lot, well, now you're using your other backs, and now it plays a game, okay, they're getting through too. We can't just key on Sellers. And Lisinski's, now he's going wide left.
Lisinski at the top of the screen for the Gladiators, only receiver in the set. 7 down offensive lineman for the Glads. As Endress turns and hands off to Bellinger. Bellinger's got a huge hole. Bellinger runs over a Raider, and it was Bellinger who's going to take it for the 17-yard touchdown run for the Gladiators. And Bo Bellinger, man, once he got through the line, he saw that hole open up, and he did not hesitate to run through contact.
No, and he didn't put his head down. He was just going over the top, and he was going in. And then again, like we just talked about, somebody else is starting to get some work in, and that's a great rounding backfield if those guys all get together and work that hard. And again, patient with the blocking.
And that's how you want your fullback, your bruising running back to run. You don't want him shying away from contact from a corner.
He didn't. He looked like Don Nottingham going right over the top of somebody.
Gladiators going for 2 now. Endress is going to hand. That's Lisinski who puts 2 more on the board for the Gladiators. So it's 38-14. Still first quarter. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back after this TO. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. Don't go anywhere, folks. We got a barn burner here from Thurlby. We'll be back after these messages.
Now's the time to fly from your northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
The outdoors? Do you like action, being part of a team, and big machines? At Team Elmer's, we're not just building roads and infrastructure, we're building dreams and communities. And as a 100% employee-owned company, we value every employee owner with a commitment to excellence and a culture where everything we do it with heart. Every day brings new opportunities for adventure. Apply now at teamelmers.com/careers and to be part of something extraordinary.
Here we are. Here we are. Welcome back in. Wild Fawn getting ready to send this one away. Gladiators up 38-14. It's a high end-over-end kick fielded by Watkins at his own 8-yard line. Watkins is going to try to outrun a tackle. He's trying to get to the sideline. Watkins with elite speed. Watkins eventually pushed out of bounds at the Raider 34-yard line. So Watkins takes it 26 yards on the kickoff return. Better kickoff coverage from the Gladiators, considering that the last kickoff Watkins took 97 yards for a touchdown.
And I was watching his head on that one more. He really is overlooking that field fantastic. He's looking for them spots to pick, and he was patient, and he found an opening. It was fun to see. This kid plays football with a great mindset and a very good field vision.
Raiders coming back out on the field down 38-14. This St. Francis Gladiator offense has been on a mission all night long here, and we're still in the first quarter. Jess dropping back to pass, throwing it in, and went right through the hands of Ryan Pearl, so it'll push the Raiders back into a 2nd and 10.
And very close again. The pass was easily, I can't say easily could have been caught. I mean, it was available to be caught, and it was just kind of like a little hurriness.
Jess in the shotgun formation, flanked to his right. He's going to keep it on the quarterback read option, and he picks up about 3 yards on the quarterback keeper. And that very well could be the last play of the first quarter. A very, very high-scoring affair between these two teams. 52 total points in the first quarter of 12 minutes of play, 52 points on the board. Todd, if I told you that after last night where the final score of Gaylord versus TC West was 6-0, you might not have believed me or taken me for a crazy man.
That was just last night. We had a totally different onset, but talk about a slugfest here. Nobody's backing down, and we'll see if the Raiders can answer. And actually, when you said 52, Joe Detloff is the one that made that tackle.
Well, we're going to go ahead.
End of a quarter.
End of the quarter. We're going to step aside here after 12 minutes of play here. It's the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators on top of the Charlevoix Raiders, 38-14. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back in 2 minutes after this.
The Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal know how to help you in times of need, whether you are in the middle of a remodel or just have too much clutter in your life. They work hard to clean up your living space in no time, and if you want to tackle the project on your own, simply call them to drop off one of their nearly 24 dumpsters from 6 cubic yards in size and larger. These folks love what they do and love to help you too. So give them a call today at 231-649-5696 or visit them online at www.grandtravershauling.com.
And here we are coming back in, start of the second quarter. It was Brady Jess on the keeper. Actually, that's Logan Watkins. And Watkins not enough yardage to pick up the first down.
Shepard and Frederick on that tackle. Looks like 4th and 4. Yep, that's what they got.
So the Raiders with an early decision to make here. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field. Jess dropping back to pass. He's going to keep it. He's got a lead blocker from Sawyer Blazic. Jess isn't going to get the first down. It was Cam Sellers who came up and brought down Brady Jess. The Raiders turn it over on downs. Big time play made by Cam Sellers there. And the Raiders turn it over on downs. Huge defensive play made by Cam Sellers for the Gladiators.
I think he got some good help, too, from Tyler Cadillac, I believe is a pronunciation. But, yeah, it was a good call. I thought, you're going to look for Watkins or he's going to delay and take the rush. But it was close.
It certainly was. And that was Cam Sellers making another critical play in this game. We're not even 1 minute into the second quarter, and Cam Sellers has had a portfolio of key plays so far in this game, Todd. If you're just now joining us, we'll recap some of the scoring after this play. Endress drops back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. Cam Sellers wide open in the seam. Sellers going to take it for another touchdown. 43-yard pitch and catch from Endress to Sellers, and the Gladiators put another 6 on the board. What a nice-looking play that was, Todd. Sellers found the seam. Endress hit him right in stride, and Sellers with that track speed was gone.
You know, I was watching in warm-ups how they were running those sets with the quarterbacks and the receivers, and it was the exact same set. The kid ran that same route, and he was there. Perfect pass.
I mean, he put it right on Sellers in the numbers, and
In stride.
The way that was set up, man, it was a thing of beauty.
And to that in stride catch, and you know, on the catch when he's in stride, he doesn't have to stop. He just full bore.
Gladiators going for the 2-point attempt. Full house backfield, or I backfield, one offset fullback, and we've got another penalty down, and it's going to back up the Gladiators 5 yards, so they'll have to retry this attempt. Maybe the only thing that's gone wrong for the Gladiators here has been their point after attempt. They've had a couple of miscues.
And this is our third one from 7 out.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe they have a different plan than we're seeing.
Right now, as it stands, the Gladiators are up by 30 points, trying to make it 32. They're going to hand off to Lisinski. Lisinski breaks through one tackle, and he's in for another touchdown. Or excuse me, not a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. And that makes it 46-14. Gladiators really starting to pour it on now. We're going to step aside here and be back in 1 minute. You're watching high school football between the St. Francis Gladiators and the Charlevoix Rayders on Next Level Broadcasting.
The experts at Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal know how to help you in times of need, whether you are in the middle of a remodel or just have too much clutter in your life. They work hard to clean up your living space in no time, and if you want to tackle the project on your own, simply call them to drop off one of their nearly 24 dumpsters from 6 cubic yards in size and larger. These folks love what they do and love to help you too. So give them a call today at 231-649-5696 or visit them online at www.grandtravershauling.com.
Okay, here we are. Welcome back in. The Gladiators just scored on a 43-yard touchdown pass from Endress to Cam Sellers. And then Lisinski capped it off with a 2-point conversion. Sam Wildfong to kick it away for the Gladiators. Back deep for the Raiders is the dangerous return man, Logan Watkins. Wildfong puts his right foot down into it, and Watkins takes it at his own 3-yard line. Watkins makes one cut and is dragged down. Very good kickoff coverage by the Gladiators that time. First Gladiator in there was Tommy Donahue, and Tommy Donahue got down there quick, made a tackle, and brought down Watkins, and the Raiders will set up shop at their own 15-yard line.
And Oliver Jaworski also helped in on that. Try to do our best to get those assists out there. Moms and dads appreciate it.
Yes, they do. Grandma and grandpas, too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a handoff working around the left side on the counter play. Running hard for the Raiders is Jack Van Gelder, and he's got a pickup of, give him 8 yards on 1st and 10.
That was a good start.
Well, the Raiders are going to need points. They find themselves in a 32-point deficit right now. They've had a couple big plays, but just haven't been able to maintain and string consistent plays together. Brady Jess in the pistol formation. He's going to keep it. Jess working around the left side, and he's tackled, but will pick up a first down. Got a nice block on the left side of that Raider offensive line, and Jess was able to move the chains for the Raiders.
Number 7, Tyler Cadillac, is one that looked like pushed him out of bounds.
It'll be Jess with a new set of downs for the Raiders. He is going to drop back to pass, look to throw, throwing deep down the sideline, looking for Kraus and overthrew the intended target, but Jackson Kraus will draw the pass interference. And that will be another first down for the Raiders. Man in coverage there for the Gladiators was, I believe, Braxton Lisinski. So the result of that play will be a first down for the Raiders. And that'll be a 15-yard penalty. So they'll move that and mark the ball at about the Raider 42-yard line.
He bumped him just enough. I mean, he did bump him. The ball wasn't there yet.
I think people would argue that it wasn't catchable.
But here we go, 1st and 10.
This time, Watkins' ball eventually comes out at the end, but the play was blown dead. Watkins was in the scrum, and he was kind of picked up there on the pile and driven back after a gain of 1 yard there on the first down scamper.
And that was a lot of pursuit from St. Francis with more than one person on them. I mean, they came 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they finally jarred it loose, but they did recover it back.
I didn't see who made the tackle there, Todd.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah, well,
4 guys at least. I mean, they were all together on that, so I'm sure they got to be keying on Watkins.
Jess in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off. Ball's on the ground, and it's recovered there by Isaac Kerr. And Isaac Kerr is the first Gladiator on the deck and recovers it with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. That's Isaac Kerr who picked it up off the carpet. And that's the play that the Raiders can ill afford to have, down 32 points so far in this one, Todd.
Yeah, it was a tough spot. And I know that previous when they went for it at the 44-45, you're thinking, okay, they have been scoring and, you know, a miscue there and then have this happen again. But, again, there's so much time left.
Endress with 2 running backs behind him under center. He's going to turn and hand off up the middle to Bo Bellinger. Bo Bellinger is eventually brought down inside the Raider 25 after he picks up 19 yards on that handoff.
Garrison Strait.
Stare it there to bring him down, but not after Bellinger. Man, he was rumbling, and he's already got a touchdown run that you could put on Sports Center.
Yeah, he does. You can tell that fullback likes the end zone. He was going.
This time Gladiators with a full house backfield. They have 7 down offensive linemen. There's a handoff to Harrison Shepard, and Shepard picks his way down to the 20-yard line. Man, great penetration there in the backfield for the Raiders. That was Sawyer Blazik, and he almost took the handoff, Todd.
Yeah, they're there. I'm trying to get the names of the Charlevoix team. Of course, defensively, Sterrett got it, and he was assisted, but I apologize. We're going live again.
Gladiators are getting to the offensive line, getting set and getting the play in. Once again, full house set, 7 down offensive line, or 5 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends. They're going to hand off to Harrison Shepard, and Shepard is tackled at the original line of scrimmage. I believe the first Raider in there was number 66, Emmett Felter.
And followed up with Ryan Pearl, number 15. And last night was a lot of in huddle. And tonight we're seeing so much more. We're going without the huddle. And just another pace. Third and 7.
Andrus is going to triple fake it. Harrison Shepard almost brought down in the backfield by Blazik, and Shepard is very close to having first down yardage. Blazik had his right hand trying to pull him down by his jersey, and it looks like that's going to be enough to move the chains for the Gladiators.
Brady Jess also plays linebacker, and he's the one that caught up to him.
And if Blazik's able to get two hands there on Harrison Shepard, that's more than likely a tackle at the line of scrimmage. There's a handoff to Cam Sellers and a nice tackle made by Ryan Pearl after a gain of 2 yards. That was a form tackle right there, Todd.
It was beautiful.
And
again, he waited. You know, he had his area to play, and he waited, and it was very nice. Then there's that St. Francis thing, how they've been doing. They lull you a little bit, and then someone pops left or right, and of course Donahue, that fullback.
Donahue and Bellinger, man, you got to keep an eye on those guys, and you better be ready to tackle those guys. Andrus is going to turn hand to Bellinger right up the middle. Bellinger in for a touchdown, and that's Bo Bellinger's, I believe, third touchdown of the game.
And straight up, straight running, just straight running.
Just a straight fullback dive puts Bo Bellinger into the end zone for 6 more points for the Gladiators. They are pouring it on now. It's 52-14, and you know, one thing that we have seen a lot of is that when the Gladiators find a matchup they like, Todd, they're going to come back to it over and over and over again. I mean, that's been pretty consistent with the diet of Bo Bellinger right up the middle here so far in this game.
Well, we're going to get our first field after point after attempt by Wolfong.
And the kick is up.
He got it.
And good. So Wildfong able to knock in the point after attempt, and the Gladiators put the first 1 point on the board here as the score is now 53-14 as Bo Bellinger had his touchdown run, and then Wildfong added the point after. 6 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. While we have an opportunity to do so, we want to thank all of our sponsors here that are making this game possible. Hey, and while we have an opportunity to do so, let me tell you about our friends at Alpers Excavating. Listen, Alpers Excavating, can you dig it? Well, they certainly can. Alpers Excavating being a proud sponsor of St. Francis football for over 20 years. That's Alpers Excavating, helping you bring next-level broadcasting right to your living room, or if you're watching it in your man cave, that's Alpers Excavating. Also want to give a shout out to Team Elmers. Team Elmers is proud to be sponsoring the hardest working player of the game this evening. And you can check out their projects all over northern Michigan. You can see it on the back of their truck, and it says, hey, there goes Elmers. That's Team Elmers, proud sponsor of Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting as well. 6 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the first half. Sam Wildfong getting ready to send this one away. The Gladiators up by 39 points here in the first half. Wildfong sends it deep, high, end-over-end kick, fielded at the 1 yard line by Logan Watkins. Watkins gets a couple of blocks, and he's eventually brought down at the 21 yard line after a 20-yard return. And that's where the Raiders will set up shop here.
Tommy Donahue.
Yeah, getting down there again on, that's his second consecutive kickoff tackle for Tommy Donahue.
And to keep Watkins inside the 20 or the 25, that's a big job.
Deal. We also want to give a shout out to our American Liner System sideline camera. They're bringing you our beautiful sideline shots from the St. Francis sidelines. Our cameraman Steve Weldon operating that. That's the American Liner System sideline camera.
Too much time.
Yeah, and that's too much time. It'll be a delay of game, I believe, going against the Raiders. And Jess going to take the snap, rolling out to his left. He's going to throw it deep down the sideline, looking for Watkins, and just over the outstretched grab of the speedster's hands. Maybe about a yard too much air on that one, but Watkins was tracking that ball pretty well.
He threw that ball about 35 yards.
On the run.
On the run. And it was a dart. It was there and just missing. It was a good call.
So that'll make it a 2nd and 15 for the Raiders after that illegal the delay of game. My apologies. And Jess looking to pass again. He's got a completion. That's Ryan Pearl in the flats. He's got a 6-yard pickup there on 2nd and 15. Pearl making it out to the Raider 24-yard line where he was eventually brought down.
Michael Frederick and also Evan Bellinger together on that tackle. 3rd and, I'm guessing they're going to call it 8.
5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Jess going to sling this one out to the flats on the near side. Pass was intended for Jack Van Gelder, and it goes incomplete out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 8 now for the Raiders.
So what do you think, Charles? Punt it away and get your field position back if you can have a hold?
I think that's what they're going to opt to do. The Raiders will receive the 3rd quarter kick. It was the Gladiators who received the kickoff in the 1st quarter, and the Raiders who will receive the 3rd quarter kick. Ryan Pearl back to send it away for the Raiders, and that is a spiraling kick received at the 45-yard line by Harrison Shepard. Shepard with a flag down, eventually brought down at the 32-yard line of the Raiders, but flag down, and it looks like this might be coming back.
Yeah, I think he got one in the back. Nice return.
It was Harrison Shepard on the return.
Is that a spot fall from where it's at then also, where it gets marked off from?
Correct. So the spot of the foul looks like it occurred at the Raider 47-yard line. So that should back the Gladiators up.
That was a hold.
Okay.
My mistake.
So it happened on the Raider 47. It's going to back the Gladiators up 10 yards. Andrus is going to hand off to, that's a new ball carrier for the Gladiators. Their first time carrying it for Tommy Donahue. Donahue making his presence known on special teams, but that's the first time that he's been a ball carrier so far in the game. He lost 1 yard on the carry. You see who made the tackle there, Todd?
No, I was trying to find number 2, and I couldn't remember if it was Donahue or not. And, because I know he hadn't touched the ball yet on the offensive side.
I think that was either Pearl or Lemerand who got in there for the Raiders to bring down Donahue for a loss of 1 yard. It's now 2nd and 11 for the Gladiators. Andrus under center, full house backfield for the Glads. He's going to hand to that's Bo Bellinger, and Bo Bellinger got tripped up. I think the first Raider that came in there was Emmett Felter. And it was indeed Emmett Felter, so it'll be 3rd and 11 again. No yards gained on the Bellinger carry. That might be the first time Bellinger hasn't gained a yard on a tote.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of 3rd and 11s out of St. Francis tonight, and for good reason.
Andrus now in the shotgun, flanked by Bellinger to his left. Twins to the top and bottom of the screen. Andrus dropping back to pass, fires over the middle. He's got a completion to Lisinski. Lisinski is brought down by Logan Watkins, but not after a big gain. 22 yards on the pitch and catch, and that's going to set the Gladiators up inside Raider territory at the Raider 33-yard line.
And Andrus, he stayed looking left, and then he It was preset, and he went to his right, and that seam opened. It was so opened up. Very patient. He kept looking left, and nice reception.
That was a 3rd and 11 completion for over 20 yards. Cam Sellers working around the right side. He cuts back up. Cam Sellers down the sideline, slips a tackle. He's going to take it again for a touchdown. Cam Sellers broke 2 tackles, slipped through that Gladiator offensive line, and took it for 6. And he took that one all the way for a 33-yard touchdown score. And I think right now, Todd, it's kind of become a little bit of a battle of attrition as the Gladiators are able to keep bodies fresh, and the Raiders seem to be gassed.
Yeah, definitely. You got a lot of guys playing both sides for Charlevoix, and eventually it's got to take a toll.
Sam Wildfong in to attempt the point after. This is probably going to be a delay of game if they don't get the snap off.
It's 2 for 2.
And the kick is good. Just got the snap off in order to not draw a penalty. But the Gladiators put 6 more on the board. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 1 minute after American Liner Systems tells you what you need to know about them. Don't go anywhere, folks. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after these messages.
At American Liner Systems, they have 3 main goals in mind. They want to do the best possible job for their customers, ensure farm and industrial safety, and protect the environment all at the same time. No matter how big or small your job site or farm is, they have many eco-safe solutions like machinery catch basins, fuel and chemical storage, manure lagoons, fertilizer containment solutions, equipment maintenance pads, and so much more. To keep our fresh water clean and our forests green, visit AmericanLinerSystems.com or call 231-258-4200 for a free quote so you can protect tomorrow's environment today.
Sam Wildfong getting ready to kick this one away, teeing it up once again, putting his right foot down into it. It takes a wicked hop and goes back in for a touchback. That thing was a knuckleball, Todd.
Yeah, and it was low. He kind of did kick it towards Jack Van Gilder, maybe trying to keep it away from Watkins, but it scooted through. It was a weird bounce, like you said, but it was a low liner, and it did what it was supposed to do. They got him starting at the 20.
So the score is 60-14 after the point attempt by Wildfong was good. Jess going to send Watkins in motion, but Jess hands up the middle to Warshaw, and Brady Warshaw's got about 2 yards on the carry.
Luke Gorman, one of those tacklers for St. Francis. I think they've switched out some of their defensive linemen.
Two minutes, 50 seconds remaining here. Brady Jess is going to give to Logan Watkins. Watkins met immediately. Nice play made and a good job of staying home on defense. First man in there was Matthew Rylson for the Gladiators after Watkins got about 1 yard. I think the Gladiator defense was ready for that one after Watkins hit him for, what was it, an 80-yard touchdown on that same
84.
play earlier on in this game.
And again, there's some new defensive linemen in there, a few, I think.
There's a screen pass to Watkins that falls incomplete.
And Matthew Rylson was right in the mix of that. I think he was in a very good position to take 6. But we go to 4th and call it 7. I would think they'd punt it. Yep, looks like Ryan Pearl's going to punt.
Ryan Pearl back deep for the Raiders, punting it away. Fair catch called for at the 46-yard line there by the Gladiators. Catching that one was Gabe Vifark. 1 minute, 55 seconds left to go in this game. It is 60-14. A lot of excitement in this one. If you're just now joining us, it's been offensive fireworks from the start here. Guys like Cam Sellers and Bo Bellinger, but not to be outdone, Logan Watkins for Charlevoix has been the shining star in their offense, especially in terms of production of points. Watkins with a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown and an 80-yard counter that he took for a touchdown, both in the first quarter.
You know, Brady Jess has done a great job at that quarterback spot.
Yeah.
In dispersing it, and a few missed just over the top pat, but I mean, he's really worked hard tonight with that offense.
And so the Raiders are going to take a timeout here. 1 minute, 55 seconds left to go.
St. Francis took that third and final of this half.
Oh, that was taken by St. Francis? Okay.
Yes, I think maybe because of the younger guys possibly being in there, they want to make sure they got the alignments right. That'd be my only guess, because normally with this, I wouldn't think you'd see that with this much time left and what your score is.
Sure. Want to remind everyone coming up that we will have the American Liner Systems and Twin Bay Docks halftime show. And we're going to keep it right here. We'll talk about what we've seen so far in this first half, what we anticipate to see in the second half, but it's been all St. Francis so far, outside of a couple of twinkling star plays by Logan Watkins for the Charlevoix Raiders. It was, I believe, 22-0 before Watkins hit that 80-yard touchdown run. It was then 22-8, and then the Gladiators struck back once again. And it's been pretty much all Gladiators since then. This is a direct snap now. Got another direct snap. So that's the package that the Gladiators are running. Running it once again was Ethan Dasiak.
Looks like they're going to keep him at that quarterback spot for the rest of this quarter. Ethan's a junior.
This is Dasiak back again under center. He's going to turn and hand. There's a big-time hole for Jack Gruber, and Jack Gruber's down at the Raider 40-yard line after he picks up 15 yards on the carry.
Watkins come up limping a little bit there. I think he got nicked a little bit. They're going to get him out.
Yeah. Looks like he's kind of favoring one of the lower extremities, maybe a left or right foot, as he comes off for the Raiders. I mean, you can't say enough about Logan Watkins' ability to just turn on the jets. I mean, we saw it on two different occasions here in this game, along with Cam Sellers' ability to turn on the jets. Two guys that just have pure track speed.
Both exciting runners to watch.
There's a handoff and tackle made in the backfield by Sawyer Blazik. And Blazik got in there and almost took the handoff once again. That was the second time that Blazik was in the backfield right away.
He was very close. I don't know what it looked like him running to the other end, but that was very close. He stepped into it. Loss of 4. Just under
20.
seconds
Yeah,
here.
I think that this will more than likely be the last play of this half.
In fact, I think they're going to let it go the way it's looking. It's 2 seconds difference from the time clock and the
Okay, so they're going to
scoreboard.
They won't have to snap this one. So want to remind everyone coming up here from the press box at Thurlby Field, we will have the American Liner Systems and Twin Bay Docks halftime show. Will also be featuring some cameos of the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiator Marching Band during this presentation. But we're going to step aside and be back with our halftime show coming up after this.
You guys need some stats? Yeah, that would be great.
At American Liner Systems, They have three main goals in mind. They want to do the best possible job for their customers, ensure farm and industrial safety, and protect the environment all at the same time. No matter how big or small your job site or farm is, they have many eco-safe solutions like machinery catch basins, fuel and chemical storage, manure lagoons, fertilizer containment solutions, equipment maintenance pads, and so much more. To keep our freshwater clean and our forests green, visit AmericanLinerSystems.com or call 231-258-4200 for a free quote so you can protect tomorrow's environment today.
Twin Bay Dock's exclusive diamond pattern is stylish to complement your waterfront property. It's quality built to last a lifetime. Engineered to be stronger, our non-skid surface stays cool to the touch, and we offer a full line of dock accessories, including kayak and supboard racks. To see all we have to offer, visit our website to find a dealer near you. Twin Bay Docks, simply exceptional quality.
The Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal know how to help you in times of need, whether you are in the middle of a remodel or just have too much clutter in your life. They work hard to clean up your living space in no time, and if you want to tackle the project on your own, simply call them to drop off one of their nearly 24 dumpsters from 6 cubic yards in size and larger. These folks love what they do and love to help you too. So give them a call today at 231-649-5696 or visit them online at www.grandtravershauling.com.
Twin Bay Dock's exclusive diamond pattern is stylish to complement your waterfront property. It's quality built to last a lifetime. Engineered to be stronger, our non-skid surface stays cool to the touch, and we offer a full line of dock accessories, including kayak and supboard racks. To see all we have to offer, visit our website to find a dealer near you. Twin Bay Docks, simply exceptional quality.
Collar Clinic, providing peace of mind and local customer service with the latest GPS collars, bark collars, e-collars, beeper collars, accessories, and replacement parts, protecting your dog's safety and giving you the confidence that you'll be hunting with your dog, not for them. Collar Clinic, your e-collar specialist in Northern Michigan for over 35 years. Collar Clinic, providing peace of mind and local customer service with the latest GPS collars, bark collars, e-collars, beeper collars, accessories, and replacement parts, protecting your dog's safety and giving you the confidence that you'll be hunting with your dog, not for them. Collar Clinic, your e-collar specialist in Northern Michigan for over 35 years.
Okay, here we are. Welcome back into the Twin Bay Docks and American Liner Systems halftime show here, live from Thurlby Field. 60-14 is the score as we take it out to the Thurlby Field scoreboard. And if you're just now joining us, folks, this has been a wild, wild affair here in the first half. The Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators up 60-14 over the Charlevoix Rayders, and it has been fireworks from the start. It started with a 22-0 lead for the Gladiators. Then the Rayders answered back. The Gladiators came back, scored, made it 30-8, and then for the Raiders, Logan Watkins ripped off a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. It was then 30-14. And then it's been all Gladiators since, scoring 30 consecutive points in the remainder of the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, as you see, the score is 60-14. Want to remind everyone here as you're looking out over a beautiful northern Michigan night sky here. It's August 30th. It's the first game of the year for both of these teams, and, well, in typical first game fashion, there's been quite a few penalties, some jitters, quite a few offsides, and a couple of delay of games. So we've seen a little bit of everything here in this first game of the year between the St. Francis Gladiators and the Charlevoix Rayders. Just want to remind everyone, if you're just now joining us, that these two teams met twice last season. And when they met twice last season, they each won one game. So the Gladiators won the first game in overtime, 41-40, and the Rayders won the final game in Charlevoix. It was a playoff game. And I would have to check my stats, but I believe the Raiders won that game 30-6. And it seems like that playoff loss has really motivated this Gladiator team during the offseason to come out with a different type of mentality, and they've done so far in this game as they scored the first 22 points of this game and haven't looked back since. For the Charlevoix Raiders, they just haven't really gotten things going to start. They had a couple of really nice plays, courtesy of Logan Watkins and that offensive line for giving him some blocking, enough to get into space and enough for him to take it the distance, one from 80 yards and another one from 97 yards on a kickoff return. So Logan Watkins with all 14 points scored for the Raiders. I shouldn't say all 14 points. He's got 12 points scored for the Raiders. The Raiders also converted 1 point after 2-point conversion. Some statistics so far in the game. 16 first downs for the St. Francis Gladiators to 5 first downs for the Raiders. Rushing yards is being won by the Gladiators 260 to 118. Average yards per rush is right around 9 for the Glads and 7.5 for the Raiders. The big statistic that sticks out in my mind, though, is the third down conversions. The Gladiators are 4 of 6 on third down, and the Raiders only 2 of 5. The Raiders also have 1 turnover. The Gladiators don't have any. Technically, the Raiders do have a turnover on downs as well, which would equate to 2 turnovers total if you're keeping statistics. We do our best, and that was our stat update brought to you by our halftime show, sponsored by the American Liner Systems and Twin Bay Docks. Charles Trail along with Todd Erickson here. It's about 6.5 minutes before we begin the second half of play here. Todd, well, just kind of break down how this game started, where we're at now, and like how we got to this point.
His rushing average, Sellers right now is 100. His total yards is 109, and I think it should be, I believe, not bigger. Bellinger possibly at 68. Lazinski's 31, but the receptions too. Lazinski 58 yards total, and Sellers 45. And just a different whole excitement from last night when we're duking it out and we get to the fourth and Gaylord has a chance maybe to tie it or win. And this one here, it's been just back and forth unbelievably.
And that was last night, and we were here for the Gaylord and TC West game tonight, Charlevoix and Traverse City St. Francis. This game right now, it's just been an offensive explosion. I mean, the Gladiator offense didn't look like this last year. It was not on this same level. And they have definitely tuned it up to a degree of offensive execution that they weren't able to achieve last year. But they're certainly doing it right now. And I think for the Raider team, they're in obviously a big deficit here tonight, but some key things that they can take away is that they've got a guy who at any point in time when touches the football in Logan Watkins can take it to the house. Brady Jess is an outstanding athlete at quarterback, and they have an absolute monster on the defensive line with Sawyer Blazek, and that's a lot to build around for this Raider team.
Oh, it is, and I think, like you said, Brady Jess, again, first game, I think when he's on, he's really going to be on and hurt some teams. And then when you got, like you said, Watkins there, he can really tear you up, and we've seen him just get out of the hands of catching a few passes too. But I think Charlevoix is going to be okay. But like you said, St. Francis, they're very keyed into one another in execution.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the way that they're able to execute. And I kind of just want to highlight how these teams go about, play calling, finding a rhythm, and things like that. It kind of seemed like that first series, St. Francis got every one of their players involved, got them a carry, and then Cam Sellers popped with a couple big runs. And then Braxton Lisinski got the ball, carried it a couple times. Bo Bellinger got a couple carries. So they were feeding the stable of horses early on to get everybody's feet wet in the game and let that offensive line to start leaning on people as well.
And that's a big confidence because that offensive line then, it's really doing their job to open up holes for multiple different players on that team. And that in itself is a big plus when those kids are confident, hey, if we pull all that hole open, they're going to blow through it. And, if you share that ball like they are tonight, it's big team morale.
And we want to give a shout-out because we know that oftentimes we talk more about the quarterbacks and skill position players, but if you're a family member watching with a relative, brother, son, grandson, friend, neighbor who plays on the offensive line, this is our time where we want to give them a shout-out and they're just due. Some of the guys working really hard, paving the way, as we like to say, for our Alpers Excavating offensive line road grader of the game. I mean, you got to look the way that these big guys just get down in the trenches, whether, the thing is, they know they're never going to score a touchdown, and they know that they'll be the, second or third member to join the teammates celebrating in the end zone when they do indeed score. But got to give credit to these guys for doing the dirty work to enable those around them to light up the scoreboard.
And you're right, they don't see the accolades that the guy catching it, passing it, get. But like in a basketball situation, you'll see that accolade made when it's a great assist pass, however it was there, bouncer high or low. But those guys underneath that are making those blocks, technically, they assisted to get that touchdown, but you don't see that stat for those the two guards and a tackle that pull out and just blow everything open. And that's how that running back or the wide receiver got open, and their help. And just like on a kickoff return, those guys that are coming in, that you're just special teams. Well, they're making blocks to make sure that running back in the back has their best shot of scoring off that
block. Yeah, You're absolutely right. And it's a different mentality being an offensive line, but it's a different mentality for an entirely different year. And I think both these teams, after this game concludes, they'll be able to go back, reassess. Some players might have to ice up the bumps and bruises, but I think both teams are going to have a lot to learn about themselves going forward for the future of the season based on this game. But also I think the coaches are going to learn a lot about their team, especially Charlevoix, and how these players compete given the deficit that they face here, down 60-14. And right now you see the type of mentality that your team is made of. And one thing that I like to say in high school football that I think really echoes, and that is that character never graduates. So if you've established that character and culture, that's never going to walk off the stage with a diploma. That's always going to stay within your football program, within your locker room, and within the minds of the players in your program. So we want to thank you for joining us here on our halftime show presented by Twin Bay Docks and American Liner Systems. We're going to go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we'll have second quarter action between the Gladiators and the Raiders. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting.
Twin Bay Dock's exclusive diamond pattern is stylish to complement your waterfront property. It's quality built to last a lifetime. Engineered to be stronger, our non-skid surface stays cool to the touch, and we offer a full line of dock accessories, including kayak and supboard racks. To see all we have to offer, visit our website to find a dealer near you. Twin Bay Docks, simply exceptional quality.
Collar Clinic, providing peace of mind and local customer service with the latest GPS collars, bark collars, e-collars, beeper collars, accessories, and replacement parts, protecting your dog's safety and giving you the confidence that you'll be hunting with your dog, not for them. Collar Clinic, your e-collar specialist in Northern Michigan for over 35 years.
The Grand Traverse Hauling and Junk Removal know how to help you in times of need, whether you are in the middle of a remodel or just have too much clutter in your life. They work hard to clean up your living space in no time, and if you want to tackle the project on your own, simply call them to drop off one of their nearly 24 dumpsters from 6 cubic yards in size and larger. These folks love what they do and love to help you too. So give them a call today at 231-649-5696 or visit them online at www.grandtravershauling.com.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
At American Liner Systems, they have three main goals in mind. They want to do the best possible job for their customers, ensure farm and industrial safety, and protect the environment all at the same time. No matter how big or small your job site or farm is, they have many eco-safe solutions like machinery catch basins, fuel and chemical storage, manure lagoons, fertilizer containment solutions, equipment maintenance pads, and so much more. To keep our fresh water clean and our forests green, visit AmericanLinerSystems.com or call 231-258-4200 for a free quote so you can protect tomorrow's environment today.
Here we are, second half underway between the Gladiators and the Rayders. This one fielded at the 21-yard line by Brady Warshaw, and he's going to bust out to the Raider 42. That's a nice return of over 20 yards for the Raiders, and actually that was, I apologize, that was Jack Van Gelder on the return for the Raiders.
And that's a good start, come right off the bat and get a nice return off that kickoff.
Yeah, and that's, kind of exactly what the doctor ordered for the Charlevoix Raider offense here in the start of the second half, as they're going to give this one up the middle. Brady Warshaw working hard for a 7-yard pickup on 1st and 10.
He had a host of tacklers on that. Alex Jetter was one of them for St. Francis.
We will have a running clock here in the second half, as it's 2nd and 1 after the 9-yard pickup by Warshaw on 1st and 10. Raiders are going to hand this one up the middle again. There's a first down carry for Jack Terryberry, and that'll move the chains for the Raiders. Good push by the left side of that Raider offensive line to spring Terryberry for a first down.
And they need this start. To get a good second half, it would be big. Execution, your timing down, and don't worry about the points.
And right now, the Raiders are playing for their Week 2 opponent. That's Oscoda. As Brady Jess fakes the option, he's going to keep it himself and pick up 4 yards. A hard hit as Jess does it himself, but is eventually brought down by, it looked like it was Scout Goldman in on the tackle for the Gladiators.
Ben DeCorliss, is that correct?
Was it? It was.
No, he was there also.
Yeah, Ben DeCarlis, yeah. And Goldman in on the tackle after just picked up 4 yards on the option keeper. Gladiators with 3 down linemen, 2 stand-up ends. There's a handoff to Warshaw up the middle. He's got a nice carry, and Warshaw is going to pick up 14 yards, and that'll be another first down.
Great start. Tommy Donahue on the end tackle with that, but again, like you were saying, they got to get ready for Oscoda, but just keep pushing, keep your execution, give your turnovers and stuff down.
Looking forward to next week. Both of these teams will be playing next Friday. Actually, St. Francis on Saturday. We'll get into that next after this snap. Brady Jess hands off up the middle to Brady Warchaw, and Warchaw is near another first down, nosing his way down to the Gladiator 16-yard line, and that's going to move the chains once again. Back-to-back first downs for Brady Warchaw here working for the Raiders.
Fafaric and Ryleson teamed up together to make that saving tackle, but at least it's looking good. I mean, they're executing.
Yeah, you got to like the enthusiasm that the Raiders have come out with here, in particular Brady Warsaw running the ball. Offensive line has been setting some gaps as well as Brady Jess bounces this one outside and is eventually dragged down. That looked like it was very close to being a horse collar tackle, but
Alex Jetter on the start of that, and I think some young man we haven't called too much either, Oliver Jaworski, was helping on that tackle, but you were right, it was very close.
Raiders coming back up to the line of scrimmage. Ball on the near hash, closer to us. Jess in the pistol formation. He's going to hand off on the end around. That's Sterrett. And Sterrett scores for the Raiders. Sterrett's got some quicks as well as he turned on the Jets to get in there for a Raider touchdown. And we've seen them run that counter play. That was the same play that Logan Watkins scored on from 80 yards out in the first quarter.
And just good play calling, but I think the kids understand they have to execute. It doesn't matter what that score is on the scoreboard. Yeah, it hurts. But execute to make sure we all got the timing right on your blocks and everything else, and you hit the gap when it's there. Good positive second half start.
Jess going to hand off to Warchaw, and Warchaw's in for the 2-point conversion. So the Raiders take the opening kickoff all the way down for a touchdown plus 2 point after. So no quit in the Raiders here. And they made a statement there, in my opinion, Todd, because they could have given up, but they came out and put 8 points on the board to start this second half.
And it wasn't a whole lot of time taken because we're just under it in 4 minutes. They executed well enough. They were no hurry-up huddle really in that. Everybody was on the same page each play they had. Very good start for Charlevoix.
It was, as you see our sideline camera there looking at the golden helmets of Traverse City St. Francis. It will be Ryan Pearl who will kick it away for the Raiders here, as we want to thank all of our sponsors here for making this game possible for you to watch from the comfort confines of wherever, whether that's your couch, man cave, cabin, boat. Labor Day weekend, man, I saw a lot of boats on the highway this driving down to Traverse City today, and wherever you're watching from, we thank you for making us a part of your Labor Day Friday evening.
Donahue and Sellers and alongside with Gabe Paferic back to receive the kickoff. You know, possibly a squib kick like some of the coaches up here talk about a lot. This part of the game. Do you work on that? Ryan Pearl, like you said, kick off.
Pearl's going to squib this one down. It's fielded at the 22-yard line. At the 22, bursting up the middle.
That's Fafaric.
Fafaric across midfield, and he's out of bounds at the Raider 36-yard line. Big play made by Fafaric on special teams.
That gain was roughly a 37-yard gain from the point of catching that kickoff.
Yep. All the way down to the 37, though, right? That was number 32, I think. 41-yard.
Excuse me, 41-yard return. We're on to 37. And it looks like Ethan Daciuk, is that pronounced correct?
Daciuk, yep.
Still going to run the quarterback duties.
So this will be the end of the night for Tyler Endress. This is already the second series for Daciak as he's going to hand off up the middle for Tyler Cadleck, who's picking his way down to the Raider 24-yard line for a first down.
And Tyler, very patient, waiting for those holes to open up. Charles, what do you think? Roughly 22, 24 players on Charlevoix's team right now suited up for tonight's game?
I think they dress about 18 to 19. But, you know, I think for Charlevoix, they just need to stay healthy.
Yes.
Definitely don't have the numbers like they've had last year, but they need to stay healthy. As there's a handoff up the middle, I believe that was Jack Gruber. Indeed, it was.
Yeah, that's next week's coming. You got another 7-8 games to play. Keep them as fresh as you can now. As far as Charlevoix, they'll do fine this year, I really think, with the combos that they have at some spots.
I agree with that, Todd. Totally. There's an inside give up the middle.
Donahue very patient. Bring us up 3rd and 5, I think we'll call it. Now again, the clock will continues to run. We're at 5:15. And Daciuk getting the play over the boys very quickly. Goes to the sideline, double checks with the coaching staff what they want to try.
Yep. Full house backfield for Daciak. 4 down linemen for the Raiders. They're going to hand this one up on the right side. Working his way down was Tyler Cadleck. And it's going to position the Gladiators in a 4th and about a foot.
Yeah,
Garrison stared on the tackle for the Raiders.
That defensive line, too, for Charlevoix, those guys, they've been working hard.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still there. They're still getting in the trenches.
4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. Inside handoff to Tommy Donahue. Donahue keeping the legs turning, eventually brought down by Logan Watkins at the Raider 5-yard line. But Donahue picks up the first down and keeps the chains moving. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5 for the Gladiators now.
Watkins, he drove him back 3 to 5 yards on that tackle.
Yeah. And if you're looking right now, Charlevoix still with their starters out on the field.
And like you say, for a program that's got that many kids, it's nice that they can get their other kids in the program on the field, give them some reps. keep that interest really strong.
Daziak hands up up the middle to Jack Gruber, and Gruber has a nose for the end zone, but he's just about 2 yards, or maybe not even that, 1 yard short on the carry. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
Well, we'll see what comes of this one. Gruber's been doing a good job running the ball for him on this drive.
Inside handoff to Gruber, and he's in for 6. Touchdown, Jack Gruber. Touchdown, Gladiators. Actually, yeah, I got it right.
Yeah.
There's so many touchdowns in this game, Todd. I wanted to make sure that I got it right.
Is that our first one in this quarter or second?
Second touchdown in the third quarter. First one was scored by Brady Warshaw of Charlevoix. This one, Jack Gruber punching it in for the Gladiators.
Yeah, Warshaw at 7:55 mark, and then now Gruber at the 2:39 mark.
66-22. Sam Wildfong on to attempt the point after. Harrison Shepard, the holder, and the kick is up and good. Also want to give a shout out to the Gladiator long snapper. That is Ben DeCarlis, who's snapping it back for the point after attempt. And while we have an opportunity to take a break, we're going to do so. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcasting. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after this.
All right, guys, here's what we get.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza, hometown handmade gourmet.
Coach, what do we do? We get BC Pizza.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza.
Yeah, it'll be Wilfong to kick it away.
Looks like somebody new in the back out there for, looks like Garrison Sterrett is the middle of the receiving team.
And I want to apologize. It was Garrison Sterrett who scored that last Raider touchdown. A nice kick from Wildfong, end over end, bounces at the Raider 6-yard line, but will go out of bounds, and that will be an illegal procedure. Kick out of bounds penalty against the Gladiators. The Raiders will have a pretty good starting field position now because of it. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Oh, I see Watkins standing over there. I'm sure it's just to give him a break.
That kid's been working hard all game.
Yeah, he's trying to stay stretched, it looks like. But
want to give an update from around the Northern Michigan Football Conference going on right now in action over in Benzie Central. Elk Rapids up 7-2 as Brady just takes this around the left side, stiff arms one man, and is eventually pushed out of bounds into Gladiator territory after he picks up a gain of 16 yards on the carry.
Braden Tharp, new name in the defensive squad we got now. He pushed him out of bounds for the final, I don't know how many yard run that was, but
so nice little run around left edge by Brady Jess. Puts the Raiders into St. Francis territory. 1 minute And 40 seconds remaining to go in the third quarter. Raiders with Pearl to the bottom of the screen. They're going to motion one-man handoff up the middle and tackled right away. First Gladiator in there was Michael Frederick. He brought down Jack Terryberry after a gain of no yards.
That was a good defense on that young man. I think everybody out there for St. Francis.
It's probably JV or second unit guys.
I think second unit.
But they still do have Ben DeCarlis out there playing linebacker and defensive end.
There he is.
Yeah, nice play made. Staying home and making the tackle on Logan Watkins. First Gladiator in there once again was Michael Frederick. That's back-to-back tackles for Frederick, and that's the play that the Raiders, it's kind of their bread and butter. That's what Watkins scored on from 80 yards earlier. That's what Starrett scored on the opening possession of the third quarter.
And it's good to see Watkins come back. I mean, maybe from folks at home from Charlevoix thinking, okay, we looked like he must have just been tired because he was doing his stretches, and he looked pretty fresh right there. So no worry on injuries. That's always a concern.
You know, one thing to describe Logan Watkins, I would say, is burst as that pass falls incomplete.
Attempted to Jack Terryberry.
Yep. Oh, actually, I believe that was Jackson Krause, the intended target there.
11? Excuse me.
So that's going to do it for the third quarter of play here from Thurlby Field. After 36 minutes in the books, the Gladiators up 67-22 over the Charlevoix Raiders. We're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout. We'll be back with fourth quarter action coming up. You're watching high school football on Next Level Broadcast.
All right, guys, here's what we get.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza, hometown handmade gourmet.
Coach, what do we do? We get BC Pizza.
BC Pizza, BC Pizza.
Collar Clinic, providing peace of mind and local customer service with the
Here we are, welcome back in. Raiders taking it back. 4th and 11, throwing it up the seam and just over the outstretched reach. Intended target was for Jack Van Gilder.
That was Colin Jess, quarterback in that run.
Was it? That was
0.
And that would be Colin Jess, the freshman. And that would be Brady Jess's younger sibling. Colin Jess in there, who was playing quarterback on that snap. So it looks like the Raiders have brought in their some replacement players right now. That was a well-thrown pass, though.
It was very good. You know, when you think about it, you have to get reps for those guys. You know, of course, it's his younger brother. But if he's the backup, you got to get some reps in for this. You never know when he's going to be needed, and he'll have something underneath his belt. So not just come off fresh up. Something happening 2 games down the road. At least he's getting some time. A little change of personnel here.
11 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter here. There's a carry up the middle. First Raider in there for the tackle was Hunter Lemoran, big number 55. 21 on the carry for the Gladiators. That's Braden Tharp.
And 60 also helped out with that tackle. Make sure we get that David Gray in there. Wrapped around one of the ankles.
There's an inside give. And there's a scrum brought down by a slew of Raiders. I believe that was...
Pearl was one of them, the nice size number 6, Connor Ortiz.
Yep, and they brought down the ball carrier who was Jack Gruber. Actually, yeah, that was Gruber. So it's 3rd and 4. Line to gain is the Raider 40-yard line for the Gladiators here. Dasiak under center. He's going to turn and hand. Ball's out. The ball is out, but it's recovered by Gabe Fifarek.
Yeah, the pitch was to him, just a quick mishandle, but he did get it back. I'm sure we'll punt here.
So this will bring out the punt team for the Gladiators most likely, as it is they're going to trot out onto the field.
Yeah, I see Wildfang coming in. And who do we got back?
It'll be
the
Jess.
Younger Jess.
It's Colin Jess, number 0 in white. He'll be going back deep to return this one for the Raiders. Wildfang standing at his own 38 to punt this one away for the Gladiators, but we've got a timeout and stoppage of play.
St. Francis.
St. Francis is going to take a timeout. While they take a timeout, we want to tell you about our friends at, well, let me ask you this, Todd.
Yes.
You ever been to Piggio's Pizza here in Traverse City?
My daughter and my wife have, and I heard it was very good.
Okay. How about Red Mesa? Yeah.
I have not been there.
Well, let me tell you what. You need to slide on in and stop and see our friendly folks at Piggio's Pizza and Red Mesa Grill here, partnering with Next Level Broadcasting and all of Magnum Hospitality. If you're going up to Elk Rapids, hey, you got to stop in to Pearl's. And if you're in Boyne
I have
City,
been there.
Cafe Sante, all under the umbrella of Magnum Hospitality. Red Mesa Grill will spice up your life. And if spice isn't what you're looking for, then head on over to Piggio's Pizza for mouth-watering family recipe pizza. And that's Piggio Pizza, Red Mesa Grill, and the Magnum Hospitality suite of restaurants in northern Michigan. And I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, that didn't help me at all.
Gruber sends it away. It's a high kick. Raiders without a return man, and it checks up and bounces and is going to be downed at the Raider 18-yard line. That punt had some hang time.
It did.
And it hit like my 60-degree wedge is supposed to be hit.
I'm still fighting with that wedge. I went to a 52, and it's not helping there either. But, no, both the restaurants here in Traverse City, my wife and our daughter, Kelly.
Red Mesa and Piggio's.
They've been to both, and sometimes she can get away more often than I have. I can get up here, but I know when we talk about going somewhere, I say, any place you take me will be new to me.
Well, next time you go out, it's either Red Mesa or Piggio's for you.
I will make sure it's probably Piggio's first because they know Dad likes pizza.
Okay, there you go. Raiders taking back over 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line. They're shuffling in some personnel here late.
And
it's Colin Jess still in the shotgun formation. He's going to hand off to Brady Warshaw.
74, new tackler. Ben Eckler was in a part of that.
I guess so.
For St. Francis. But, you know, 2 beautiful nights we've gotten to call a game, and it's just pleasant. And what an atmosphere here from being south of here. I've only been in the stadium once before since it's been redone, and it's beautiful. Traverse City has a lot to be proud of with all 3 schools playing here.
Yeah, I mean, the stadium's great, and the Gladiators, well, they were ready from the gate to get this game underway, as Colin Jess is going to keep this one himself, tuck it and run, and he's met by a couple of Gladiators and pushed back after about 1-yard gain on the play.
It looked like about 8 out of 11 stood him up. And the good guys next door, Garrett Gillespie one of those main tacklers in the line.
Well, while we have a moment, we want to tell you about our friends at Cherry Capital TVC Airport. Listen, folks, it's time to fly. And for most people, that means flying into northern Michigan over Labor Day weekend festivities, or if you're looking for a getaway yourself, the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport has got you covered with coverage from American, Sun Country, Allegiant, and United, just to name a few. That's Cherry Capital Airport, a proud sponsor of football on Next Level Broadcasting. Colin Jess back to pass. He's going to sidearm it, and it's caught at the 30-yard line by Jackson Krause.
Yep.
And it's going to be very close to a first down. So Colin Jess completes a pass. I believe he's now 1 of 2 officially.
And, Traverse City Airport, like you talked about, oddly enough, this is where I met Charles.
That's true. That is where I met you, Todd.
And then even more weird, we're both taking the same flight out of Chicago, going to Tucson, and that's how I met Charles Strell, and it was a very good day.
Colin Jess in the pistol formation again. The Raiders have 2 guys in motion, so this will be coming back on a penalty.
Look like it could be a new ball runner in there, too. Nope, he's been playing. Jack Terryberry. But probably a little movement.
And just to kind of double back on some of our sponsors here for Gladiator football, I mentioned that Alpers Excavating has been a part of St. Francis for a very long time. That's a 4-generation St. Francis community family, and they're proud to support Gladiator football here on Next Level Broadcasting. Family-owned and operated and a trusted service provider for all large-scale exterior and outdoor projects. That's Alpers Excavating. Also want to give a shout-out. We'll do it after this play. Another one of our family-owned and operated businesses here. Colin Jess dropping back to pass. Pump fakes, looking to throw. He's eventually brought down. Big-time play made by the Gladiators.
Russell.
That was Garrett Russell who brought down Colin Jess for the sack.
And that young man is pumped. He's only a sophomore, so we got to see a little action. He did wrap him up well.
Well, in lieu of that sack by Garrett Russell, we want to also thank our friends at Redmond Automotive. Listen, Gladiator fans and families, we know that sometimes those teenage drivers get into the occasional fender bender or put your transmission out if you're trying to teach them how to drive a manual, Dad. And when those things occur, head on into the pros at Redmond Automotive to get your ride back on the track as fast as possible. Colin Jess going to hand off. Ball's on the ground again. There's a scrum for it. Referees are going to be climbing in on the pile to determine who's got the ball. I believe the first Gladiator down there at the bottom was Jack Young, but it is recovered by the Raiders. We'll finish up telling you about our friends at Redmond Automotive. They're a full-service and family-owned and operated business for over 35 years, and I bet that Sam Wildfong could punt a football from this west end zone and hit Redmond Automotive. About 1.5 blocks away from the west end zone here in Thurlby Field. That's Redmond Automotive, proud sponsor of Gladiator football on Next Level Broadcasting. Colin Jess back, scrambling around, throwing across his body. He's got a completion. Nice grab by Ryan Pearl. Pickup of 6 yards on the pitch and catch, Jess to Pearl.
That was a nice pass going the other way when he was running to the right, throwing back over the middle. He looks confident out there.
Oh, he certainly does.
I believe you said he was a freshman, didn't you?
Yeah, Colin Jess, true freshman. I guess you don't need to say true freshman in
I don't know.
high
I
school
think
football.
that's going to come to often. Someday I think you see a lot of movement like that. I just
thinking, whenever I say freshman, I think college, and you never know if somebody's a redshirt freshman, a true freshman, gray shirt freshman, or a COVID redshirt freshman.
There's a lot of guys that got 6 years.
Yeah.
That play college.
Well, the Raiders are going to be taking this one all the way down to the end of the play clock here and most likely taking a timeout. With just seconds remaining on the play clock, we're going to reset our game clock as we forgot to reset it and let a little bit additional time run off. There's 2 minutes and 25 seconds left as we approach this fourth down. But while we have one more opportunity to do so, we want to thank all of our partners here bringing you Gladiator football on Next Level Broadcasting all season long. Redmond Automotive, Team Elmers, Cherry Capital, TVC Airport, Magnum Hospitality, PGO's Pizza, Red Mesa, and Pop Excavating, Alpers Excavating, Collar Clinic to go along with Grand Traverse Hauling, American Liner Systems, and BC Pizza of Traverse City. Can't forget the pizza, whether it's BC, Pizio's. Todd, I can almost taste it.
I'm sure it's a big-time after-game favorite, too. Yeah, they will punt it away. And
Pearl sends it away, almost blocked. It bounces at the Gladiator 44, and it's going to be down by Brady Jess at about the 34-yard line. Last but not least, we want to thank our sponsors at Twin Bay Docks as well. I know it's getting close to Labor Day, so if you're looking for a dock service provider going into next year, trying to get you out back on the lake, back in style, don't worry about spending your Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend putting together or taking out that dock with all those different bolts and screws and legs and bracket mounts. Just go over to our friends at Twin Bay Docks, and they'll set you up so that way you can spend more time doing what matters most, hanging out with your family on the lake, enjoying Northern Michigan as it should be enjoyed. Not looking for nuts and bolts that you dropped in the water. That's Twin Bay Docks.
And you know, if they're stainless, you can't pick them up with a magnet. I've learned that.
1 minute, 20 seconds remaining here. Daisy, actually, we've got a new quarterback in for the Gladiators as they're going to pop this run up for about 12 yards. That's Bo Classens who took that carry.
It was a nice little run.
New quarterback in for the Gladiators is Cooper Sellers. He's a sophomore. Most likely going to have one more play here before this game is over.
I'd say it's definitely probably a lot of last year's JV team if they're juniors.
These two JV teams last year played each other. Charlevoix won 22-21.
Wow.
And they played each other Wednesday night. Not sure what the final score was to that contest this past Wednesday evening. That game was up in Charlevoix. As that looks like this is going to conclude this game as the clock's going to run out here. Just a little bit too much offense early on for the Gladiators. The Raiders just couldn't answer punch for punch. And I think it came down to that first quarter. Those first three drives for the Gladiators, they put 22 points on the board right away. Before 6 minutes had been played in the game, they were up 22-0, and I think that was the insurmountable mountain that the Raiders just could not overcome.
It was bang, 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 and they did settle down. Charlevoix made some good adjustments as far as their execution got better, and they blew some holes open. They got some scoring, but that St. Francis line, you got to give them a ton of credit. They opened it up for them.
The offensive line, a couple big blocks in there by Eli Bigger and Matthew Rylson, and also Matthew Kane coming in from the perimeter, slotting in as a tight end, made some big blocks as well. The Raiders next week will be on the road to Oscoda. The Oscoda Owls will be hosting the Charlevoix Raiders next week in a Northern Michigan Football League conference game. The Gladiators will be back here next Saturday taking on Lawton. And the Gladiators will not forget what happened down in Lawton last year. They kind of took it on the chin 38-6, but they've got revenge written all over that Lawton game next week, the Gladiators do. But right now, you got to enjoy this game for at least a good 24 hours and then, try to keep moving on from that. Right, Todd?
You do. I mean, all the years we coached, in the basketball frame of it, you let the kids celebrate. When you get back together with them again, it's business for the next team. And a great outing tonight for St. Francis. They executed well. And I can't say enough. Those guys running the ball, they run either a delay or they do a great job ducking the hand out but not giving it and going to the second option or third option. That also goes to being very, very patient with your quarterback and those running backs that he has available to him, and that's execution every day of practice. But when it's game time, it changes. And they did a nice job.
They certainly did. So both teams, a lot of takeaways from this game. They'll be looking forward to make improvements and adjustments. I'm sure that if you ask both coaches, there were things that they might have done differently in this game, but that's high school football. That's week one. You get thrown into it right away in week one. You got 8 more weeks. There might be a potential outcome where these two teams see each other again in the playoffs like they did last season. So, hey, you never know what can happen through 9 weeks of the high school football campaign.
Yeah, a good start. I mean, every start somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But you got to take the best out of it, whichever side you are. And the things you did wrong on the team that won, you got to get better at. And the team that didn't win, they had a lot of positiveness out there, but they got to get stronger in some areas. So you build on that. And like you said, Charles, week one, there's 8 more weeks, and you can always see somebody later in the year if it works out.
Very, very well said, Todd. So for our whole Next Level broadcast team here, we thank you for making us a part of your Friday evening, coming to you live from Thurlby Field. Final score here, the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators 67, the Charlevoix Raiders 22. For myself, Charles Strail, Todd Erickson, our executive producer tonight, Jessica Alcorn, Ryan Bentley, our head of videography. We thank everyone for tuning in. Until next time, everyone, and Gladiator fans, we'll see you next Saturday as the Gladiators host Lawton. That game will kick off at 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Until next time, see everyone later.